Okay. Call the meeting to attention at what time?
101.
1:01. Thank you. Kathy, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Third up, our announcements. First announcement, the neighborhood watch meeting yesterday, the city was talking about some green cans that the association has. Those are really only for Springdale owners, so I wanted to clarify that. It's not for all owners to bring green waste to. It's just for the Springdale owners. Second one is summer hours, start on Monday. So start Monday, the facilities will all be open from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is when people need to be out of the facility, and the pools will be heated by then as well. The pools probably are starting to heat now, so if you want to be adventurous, you can see how warm or cold that they are. Next one, the windmill fountain works. Yay, so both of our fountains are working. Hallelujah. But I would ask that people not allow their pets or grandchildren to go in it or around it. It's not a water feature like that. If the pools are great, not the fountain. Please vote. We are in the middle of the election. Last count was 32%. I'm sure we're up by another percent by now, but please make sure you do vote and sign that green envelope. And then my monthly slow down. It's always 30 miles an hour around the circle, 25 on all the side streets, and that's and 15 in the parking lot. So with that, we'll move to homeowner input. Homeowner input is for 3 minutes per homeowner. And the first person is Glenn Coddington. Oh, yeah, if you could come up to the mic. And I see it's green, so it's on, so it should be ready to go.
That is Steelers shirt?
Oh my God. Go Eagles. Go Eagles.
Over on Beaver Creek by where the...
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yes. All right. So there's only two things I wanted to bring to the attention. We have some concerns about those very large pine trees immediately behind us. The last winds that came through, they were swaying down to the trunk. Some of the roots come up a little concerning because if it does go direction of ours, it will reach the house. So if you could have someone look at it. Okay. The only other thing I wanted to ask about is when they're going to start doing the pine needles out of the gutters, a lot of wood rot. I observed the other day, and it's getting worse.
Well, that's part of the agenda is a battery backpack for our maintenance staff to do the gutter cleaning. So that's going to start.
Good. Thank you, Eric.
ASAP. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Next is Bill Bain.
There we go.
Got to talk
There you go.
right
Talk
into it.
into it. On.
It's on.
Is it on?
Yes.
The microphone's your friend. Yeah.
More?
Take it out of there
That's
if
the
you
best
want.
I can do. Oh. Is that better?
We're all about the feedback.
No, I just wanted to ask two questions. One, what the status of pavement rehab is. Second thing is break into a cluster box on nesting bird, and wanted to know if that was being followed up on.
So the pavement, it's actually one of the parts of my manager article for May. We had a job walk last week. We'll have another job walk with vendors next week. I would anticipate that the board would have bids to review and approve mid-May. That is ongoing, and that's for the entire community. And the cluster mailbox wasn't broken into. It was the Postal Service employee broke the key off in it because he was new to that area, and that's been resolved.
Thank you.
And last but not least is Claudia Rossi.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board and members of our audience, I do want to thank you for your service to the community. I especially want to thank this board and our management staff for what they do on a day-to-day basis for this community. Today is my last board meeting.
Maybe.
And I encourage all of you to vote. We do have 4 excellent candidates running for the board, and I do encourage you all to come to the board meetings in the future. For those of you that serve on committees, I'm especially fond of committee members. I ask anyone who isn't on a committee to consider joining a committee. You are the lifeblood of this community, and you're what's keeping the community alive, vibrant, renewed, refreshed, and entertained. So I do want to thank all of you for that. And it's been my pleasure to serve in remembrance of Mr. David Sweet, whose position I did inherit. He passed away while in office 18 months ago. And I'm honored and humbled that the board thought of me to replace him for these 18 months. So I do thank you for your time and attention to our board and our community. And Mr. Chairman and my fellow board members, I'll miss you. But I'll see you often. Thank you, everybody.
And we're not clapping up here because we're happy to see her go, so.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the executive session acknowledgement. The board has held 2 executive sessions since their last open session. The first was on March 27th, where they approved a contract with Park West for smart controllers in the amount of $430,000, which is a reserve expense. They also held an executive session this morning. They approved foreclosures on 3 homes, APNs 428-240-011, APN 428-161-033, and APN 428-130-064. They also reviewed other delinquencies, a member violation hearing. They approved the Automation Pride contract, which is our gate vendor, and for the Health of It contract, and reviewed legal issues with their legal counsel. With that, we'll move into the consent calendar. On the consent calendar are minutes from the 11th, 14th, and 25th of March. There were no liens. There are some utility club requests. P-card statement.
I'll second that.
Motion by Larry Workman, second by Gracie Luna to approve the consent calendar as is. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next is the committee reports and minutes. First is ARC. Steve.
Hello. Springtime, work is ramping up, getting actual in, and we've got typical things, painting, a little bit of planting and stuff. ARC has a problem that we're trying to resolve. It's not getting resolved. And we've had a fair number of complaints from homeowners lately for 2 different issues. That issue is that front yard cost center making changes that come to ARC. All front yard changes, regardless of what cost center, not a common area, have to come through ARC. We have homeowners who are upset because ARC doesn't, or cost centers don't have to get approval, meaning that they're being treated unfairly. And we don't know how to respond to them except say that we're not seeing those. We're asking the board to help us with that coordination between ARC company so that that problem gets resolved. Not upset with what they're doing, but what we're upset with is that the homeowners are seeing a class of homes. Our guidelines clearly say even the front yard cost centers, anything that's maintained by the HOA, still requires ARC approval. Of course, primarily talking about trees. That, and because of that, I'm asking that the board postpone the new business, move some trees, application. Thank you.
Thank you,
Go,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve, next is Canine Corral.
As you know how much rain, all the rain the last few months, we're very upset. They haven't been able to go down and play with friends and run with their friends. My dog gets walked every morning, and she gets so excited when she sees the corral that she owns. But rain also caused a lot of water damage within the corral. Proposed grant, a lot of rivulets, ruts, going down through the corral. So if you're going to go down there and use it, please watch your footing, be careful. Some of the big dogs may trip in some of the ruts, they're so big. Now, due to unforeseen accident issues on the committee, we members, we're looking for more members. Thursday of the conference last week. We do have one event in November to raise additional funds. Talked it over in our board and decided you don't have to be a current dog owner and member of the corral, be a member of the committee. Had dogs in the past, love the dogs, and help us review. You know, once you're a dog lover, cat lover, don't give it up. Always a dog.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Martha.
Thanks, Martha. Next is communications.
Good afternoon, everyone. The May issue for the Breeze is currently in process of being, I think, going their third editing and proofing. So it's going to be another spectacular issue. Being that May is National Pet Month, we're, as you know, running a special on pets and their people, a pictorial. And I got to tell you, Four Seasons people love their animals. We have more pictures than we've ever had for any other pictorial. We're trying to squeeze them all in with a shoehorn, just keep pushing them in. And which also brings me our next pictorial, which will be in September. Yeah, September. Start digging through your vacation pictures because we're doing a take on Lampoon's Family Vacation. So if you've got any crazy or funny family vacation pictures, send them to Courtney. Our resident spotlight next month will be a feature on our very own Len Tavernetti. And as you know, he's worked tirelessly for both the Conservancy and providing services to our veterans. And make sure you check the latest update on the Banning Beaumont warehouse. Okay, just to digress from the magazine itself, we have received a few articles, unsolicited articles, which is great. We encourage people submitting articles of something that they feel important. But I would like to bring to everybody's attention, if you don't already know, on the back page of the Breeze is the community guidelines for the Breeze. So please check those and contact either Courtney or me before you write your article. One of the articles we recently received has a few things in it that shouldn't be in it. So just give us an outline of what you're planning on writing, and we'll walk you through the guidelines. And that's it. Our next planning meeting is May 1st. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you.
Somebody else.
Next is CPC. Move to Conservancy. Len.
Go ahead and bring up first. During the last rainstorm, it was about 2.5 days worth. I went and checked on our 3 retention basins to see how they were doing. This is the one down by the Breckenridge Gate, and you can see, looks like there's a lot of water in there. Might be go to the next slide, please. Okay, this is that same couple of days later. Like I say, it's only about a 1/2 inch deep because it's so wide. But it does what it's supposed to. It retained the water for a short amount of time. Go to the next one. This is by the courts. And you can see there's hardly any water visible in it. It doesn't get a lot of runoff from the housing areas, I don't think. But anyway, there's plenty of room there. Next one. Okay, this is the one by Trail C and the Edison. And it still has a lot of capacity left. You can see how much room there is between the water and the top of the tin whistle. The only concern that we seem to have is, go to the next slide, is all the trash that comes down alongside the sea trail is building up there. So we're going to have to go in and pick it up, but it's supposed to rain again this weekend, so I don't think we should go in there until the rainy season is over. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We did our walk, and this is what the trails look like. This is the B Trail up near the Four Seasons Circle Drive. And you can see it hasn't been raked, but then again, it's in good shape. There's no gullies or anything like that. And those are the catkins, you know, that come out before the leaves, and they're on the ground, and they'll blow around and everything. So it's in very good shape. Next slide. There are several critter nests along the A and B trail. This is one of them. It's hard to see into it. Let's go to the next one. And you can see this is one up by the courts area. Next slide. There's one in a tree. And go to the next one. And those nests are actually what they envisioned when they said put in a conservancy here. Critters are moving in and making a home here in Four Seasons. This is the Trail B retention basin, and it's the one down there by Green Creek Trail, and you can see all the trash on the top of it. So it indicates 2 things. One, it needs to be cleaned, and 2, the water was in there at a depth close to the top, so all that stuff floated down on the top and got caught up there. Next slide. And if you look straight down from the bridge, there by the windmill, you'll see all that trash down there. And after the next rainstorm, which is hopefully the last one, we'll have one of our people go down there and bag it all up and get it out of there. And next. Yeah, this is a detention basin along the B Trail, and you're not supposed to have vegetation growing in the basins. And as you can see, it started growing in there, and that really should be removed from it. And next. Yeah, this is the tin whistle that's on the A Trail, and as you can see, we're getting pretty close to filling it with debris and dirt sediment in there, and that's something that's supposed to be removed about every 3 years and has never been removed. So it's getting closer and closer to the top where it will be a serious problem. And that's it.
Next is facilities.
Thank you, Lynn.
Closer. A little closer.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So, thank you. Not going. So, the have 5 proposals. First one, and but the recommending a blower, battery pack, and accessory. We recently obtained a new blower for the maintenance department of services. This blower is used to remove pine needle gutters. The blower has a battery life. This is not adequate jobs. To recharge the battery, it takes about 1 hour for a full charge. This takes away and we lose time. Wiring the battery pack adapter and battery charger is this will ensure the blower can be throughout the day without interruption. This will be as we are our in maintenance to clean the gutters at Springdale. Springdale's typical 5K gutters. Our maintenance service task with the proper charge for our current blower. This item is on Amazon 1760. This would be a power charger, battery pack, and the necessary accessories. Amazon has the best price, and this is proposal number 2 is facilities recommend a door opening system for the spa, lodge, building, restroom. Residents have faced difficulties accessing the restroom at the spa as the door is a manual. Adding an ADA and receipt to solve the problem. This restroom is our largest restroom with a showering facility in it. It serves the gym, hair salon, the exercise, dance room, along with a lodge pool. This would be the same type of access we see throughout Four Seasons with a recognizable big silver push button. Facilities proposes the installation of an automatic door opening system for the restroom to the spa. Recommend Beaumont safe and lock for the installation of the system. Our in-house maintenance crew, electrical. Total cost is $9,017.65. This is a item. Slide. Number 3, staying on topic with restrooms. Facilities is recommending that all toilets located inside the lodge.
Carpeting.
Carpeting.
He really doesn't want the toilets.
All righty. Well, I knew I'd have a Lucy moment, so that's okay. Carpet replacement for the additional rooms at the lodge. The committee recently proposed the replacement of the carpet in the ballroom and game room. That proposal was approved. We are in the process of getting this work done. When we presented the original carpet finance, they suggested we as this is a reserved. Remaining rooms include the theater, library, bistro, barn, lodge, back office, and RCN. It's worth noting that the carpet protected by air and along with the steam and the wear from the steam. We have deep filled areas in carpets now over. We are recommending my custom flooring. This is the same I've used before for our current plan. These are the 24 by 24 tile square. And the B. The cost is $63,176. And this is a reserved item. Well, let's see. All right, back to the toilets. Okay. Facilities is recommending all toilets located inside the lodge, RCN, and spa building. The toilets have reached lifespan. They are the original to the building, now over 20. Toilets are badly stained from hard water. They continue are in need of various recommend a total of 6 standard 17-inch. That is a chair height toilet. Former standard. You recommend Right Solutions Plumbing as the contractor. The amount of $1,200.04. This will have a 3 vendors were considered. Right Solutions our lowest and best price. We have asked for plumbing issues. This is a reserved item. Final proposal is for the board's consideration is a bistro beverage machine for coffee and tea along spots. The bistro is currently renting coffee in external supplier. They have requested the items to be purchased by the HOA in order. HOA owns exception of the coffee and tea maker. This is a capital expense. Bistro is recommending webstront.com as at a cost of $16.06. Should be noted this was a divided vote in facilities, 5 yes, 2 no. That wraps up our proposal today. As an update on the carpet and tables for the billiard room, we are about 4 weeks away from this work state. This is a priority and hard to get. Facilities meet second Wednesday of every month. Are at full membership capacity at this time. However, I enjoy.
Thanks, Regina. Regina, next is finance.
Can you hear me? We held our finance meeting at the end of the month, as we always do, and we review all proposals that will be moved on to the board from various committees that come to that go through finance before they end onto the board. This is where we take the time to review where the money will come from, how the costs will be paid, whether or not it looks reasonable that we have funds available to take care of these projects. That information gets passed on to the board, then makes the decision for the community about what project or what proposal we approve. Our committee is to help the board make an informed decision. Our committee is not the ones that make the final decision. The board is the ones that make. This month, we are moving in I know when you look up here and you see February, we look at February's consolidated financial statements. Well, seems like a little behind since we're partway through April. But what you have to realize is that at the end of February, the month has to end before the accounting staff for services can begin the process of doing a month-end close and determining what the financial statements are. And then they get to us partway through the next month. And so we're always a little behind because they haven't been completed when that process comes. So that's why you don't see March up there. You see February, because we looked at February's in our meeting. We are currently early in the year, and as you can see, we still have net income, and also that our income is exceeding our expenses, and if you look at this, you see a little more in. We got a little more in January, and we spent about the same for both February and January. The operating income of this community is all the fees that you pay, your homeowners' fees. That is what we run this community on. So those amounts, maybe we have an amount that each month would be, but some people pay in advance, some people pay a little late. So that's why sometimes those numbers are not exactly the same, but that is where the funds come from. As you can see, our default is still less than 1%, which is well within industry standards as being a great place to be. We are down a couple members, so we are actively recruiting anybody that would like to join us, and we're not really that intimidating. Please come check us out and see what, come to a meeting and see what you think. Our next meeting will be on April 30th at 1 p.m. in the RCN conference room. Thank you.
Thanks, Jolene.
Jolene, next is landscape. Kirk.
Good afternoon, board members and President. Landscape Committee continues inspection. That's the terminology in both HOA and House Center planning. Due to medical issues, the committee chair has been unable to do all of these blocks. The committee bravely carried. We have 4 proposals for board consideration. Northwest has offered a $1,000 credit for expenses other than trees. Now that the smart controller project has we will use the credit to. The plan is that we set it up a year and only go to amounts that we have available later after we get the credit. Residents are welcome to attend our monthly. Next after the weekly walk start Fridays. Don't start from that place where we're walking. Want to walk with us? Contact first. Cat help you, and you can get hold of her. The daily report.
Good to see you, Kirk.
Thank you, Kurt. Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you, Kirk. Next is safety.
Thank you. First of all, I'm going to change this and say thank you to Claudia. Claudia has been absolutely wonderful for us at safety, and we're going to miss you, but you can certainly come in and be on the committee. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, she can't go on any other committee. It has to be safety. Thank you, Claudia, for everything you do, and thank you, Larry, for Summit. We are moving the AED from the front of or down to the back where the 911 phone is, the 911. It'll be right there. And actually what we'll do is we have put a cover over that phone because it'll be out. So for protection, weather protection. The CPR classes itself has been changed and we'll put it on hold. However, AJ is available to give CPR one of the clubs, the committees, or groups that would need that, and it's so important nowadays. Everybody, of course, Eric says it all the time about being careful about going on the roundabouts, but also everyone needs on safety to be careful on the roundabouts by this lodge because some people are flying down once they come into the gate and come down, they're flying through that. So you want to be really aware before you start going back up to Four Seasons. I saw something yesterday that was almost a near accident because the person was going so fast and the person was actually going into the roundabout, but the one that was coming down from the was flying. So be very careful. And also, we did have the city of Beaumont here yesterday and waste management, so be very aware and careful for what you're putting in each one of the bins. And Eric also mentioned what was actually, he clarified something that came up yesterday. So make sure you know that any bins is only for the spring sales, and we'll give you more information about that. So our next meeting, we meet the first Tuesday of the month, 10 o'clock in the morning. Come on down.
Thanks, Anita.
Sorry, I forgot to say thank you, Bree. All right, best to you as well.
Thank you. Next is Social Committee.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, first of all, I want to thank everybody who attended Divine Divas. It was a great success. Unfortunately, it was not sold out. So because of that, we're going to be canceling one of the tributes. So our next event will be fashion show. Totally different fashion show this year. Anyone that we've had before. We have a longer runway. We're doing things. It should be professional. It should be fun. Got almost all of our models set, and now we're working on rehearsal dates and who can make what and that. We are canceling the tribute show after the fashion show, and we're going to bring it back in next year, October. The next two tribute shows, one is going to be the Rat Pack, so please buy some tickets. And then the next one's going to be the country one. But we've got Dolly Parton and we've got Reba. We're waiting for the third one. And then finally, at the New Year's Eve party. So that should be fun also. Next year, we're starting off with comedians. We are only going to have one tribute show next year. We're going to have a luau. We're going to have the comedians. We're going to have magicians, along with the fashion show and the New Year's Eve party. So please buy tickets. It keeps us going to the next event. Okay? Thanks again for everybody who showed up.
Thank you.
I'm gonna drop.
Thank you. Next is our Activities Director report.
Okay, spring has sprung and so has Four Seasons Fun. Love dancing or just hanging out with neighbors? Be sure to attend the Dancing at the Moon dance in the Lodge Ballroom at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, hosted by the Westbrooks. Yay! There's no admittance to attend, so come on down and bring your dinner and favorite beverage for a good time. On Saturday, April 13th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the AAC
holding a new membership drive at the court. Be a great way to engage with the African American culture and through enriching events and network, share in a journey of cultural discovery and appreciation. Everyone is invited. Then on April 19th, starting at 11:30 a.m., we have a special appreciation event for all of our incredible volunteer community served on committee, as well as other HOA functions. This will include a recognition ceremony and a professional show. So, folks that are the community, please give them a big hard work. You guys all sitting here know what it's like to be. On Saturday, April 20th at 9:30 at the Summit, Puppy Yoga. This is a donation drive benefiting Haven. Donation. They're looking for this dog treat, butter, applesauce, Martingale's pet toys, dry or soft pet food, gift card, cash, and also precious puppies to cuddle, and a yummy light breakfast. Everyone need to see how that works.
You said martingales. At first, I thought it was margarita.
Yeah, that is so funny.
I just looked down. I thought it said margaritas, but it does say.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wish it did. But in fact, I had to look up. I wasn't sure. It's a kind of.
Oh,
So,
okay.
And then same day at 5:30 p.m. is Four Seasons. And next weekend on Saturday, April 27th, is the long-awaited for Shredded event at the lodge from 11 a.m. Residents welcome to bring their box or bags, sensitive documents for shredding. No fee to participate, and we keep documents until the truck is full. By the way, what happened last year? Give that what? Heck yeah, sit around and listen to the grind. Oh yeah, no, I mean the truck is a giant shredder. So they dump it and you can watch it shred down. Yeah, feel free, pull up a chair, you know, all about it. And then, yeah, get your drink at the bistro, come on down with your chair, no problem. And then, in fact, I don't know if you guys knew, but one of the boxes that we were throwing in that, you know, we handed to the shredded dude, and then he puts it in, was an ex-police officer, and they had bullets and stuff. Yeah, it would have blown the truck up. So luckily, which would have been exciting, right?
Would have been exciting.
Okay. But luckily, yeah, and did you know what, too? You need to make sure you get any batteries out of your before you do that, because that can blow up the truck, too. So, yeah, try to pull those out. Luckily, the guy was very careful, the shredded guy, so he was able to pull out all the bullets and all the batteries. So that worked out, but you never know. It could be more of a bang than we think. Oh yeah, bring your chair, man. You never know what can happen. So anyway, so finally later on Saturday, April 27th is Janine Rohrbacher's ever popular barn burner dance in the Lodge Ballroom at 5 p.m. Please see Janine for more info. So there you go. And now you got the latest and the straightest about the shredded event.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
Next is management report for board information. With that, we'll move into new business. First item is a financial statement to approve the February 2024 financials.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve the financial statement.
Second that. Motion by Kathy, seconded by Barry to approve the February financial statement. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Next is new plantings in the Springdale, starting on page 118. This would be to use the Park West credit to have new plantings in the Springdales for a cost of $1,004. But
Make the motion to approve the new Springdale's planting for the various addresses that are below in the amount of $1,004.
Second that.
Motion by Kathy Craven, seconded by Gracie Luna to approve the new Springdale plantings in the amount of $1,004 to be paid from Park West credit. Any discussion on this item?
Jerry?
Yes.
I just like, we've used the word credit when Tina, and just now, just like to everybody understand, Park West, part of their contract, we RFP'd it this year with 4 or 5 other vendors, and they answered all the questions that we wanted to identify. In addition, they threw in an incentive of a $60,000 credit you can use for plantings and other things around here. I want you to understand where that's from. They had the best price without that, and they gave us $60,000.
And that's per year for the next 4 years.
4 years.
So just understand that it's not buying our business. It was part of an RFP process, and that was part of their offering.
Thank you, Barry.
We need to.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's 6-0.
thank you. Next, starting on page 132, are Phase A plantings from Landscape Committee. Be to plant items in Phase A and the Paseo. Total cost would be $1,294, which would be paid out of that credit that Barry.
I'll make the motion to approve Phase A plantings, Theo and others, in the amount of $1,294, utilizing the Park West credit.
Second that.
Motion by Kathy Craven, second by Gracie Luna to approve $1,294 for Phase A plantings. This also paid out of Park West credit. Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's 6.
Thank you. Next, item D, starting on page 141, are new plantings in Phase E and Phase E. Total cost for this would be $1,470, paid out of Park West credit. This is all new plantings in Bear area.
Make the motion to approve the new plantings in Phase E and EE in the amount of $1,470 to be taken out of Park.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kathy Craven, seconded by Gracie Luna to approve the new plantings in Phase E and E in the amount of $1,470 paid out of Park West. Discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's 7-0.
Thank you. Next, starting on page 149, are 2 tree removals. One nearby 271 White Sands and the other one in the front yard of 181 Canary Creek. Total cost will be $1,300 out of front yard cost center maintenance.
I'll make the motion for the front yard tree removal for an African sumac on White Sand, pear tree on Canary Creek, the amount of $1,300.
Second that.
Motion by Kathy Craven, seconded by Gracie Luna to approve $1,360 front yard tree removal taken from cost center. Any discussion? Yes, Larry.
One's on the is more common area. one is in a small yard that would.
I
good enough.
understand. Doesn't mean
They're actually not requesting these trees removed. If the resident's requesting be removed because they don't want it, then we are sending them to, for that approval. These trees
These
are
are not.
trees that are uprooting right now, and they have to come out because we're liable for it.
City is.
Mr. Chairman?
Art.
Mr. Chairman?
To Arc?
Go ahead.
A point of clarification. Front yard cost center is just an easement to do landscape work. It isn't, we own the trees. So I think we need to understand that. And if we do have the ARC committee rules about anybody who removes a tree from a front yard, the property is still private property. And removing a tree, whether you're in the front yard cost center or not, still needs to follow the same procedure. So in this instance, I agree with Art. If it's a homeowner and it's a front yard, whether we do the maintenance or not, they're still held to the same standards. And they should go through ARC for a tree removal and or the city to get a waiver should they not need to replace the tree. We're just doing the work.
On that now.
Into doing it. Happy to fill the ARC request out, but the
table this
homeowner.
till the next.
You have a motion, you have a motion.
But we're having discussion
Yeah,
right now.
discussion, But
We have the motion.
I would,
we can ask the homeowner to fill out the ARC request because that's still their tree. It's not our tree. But we can ask the homeowner to do that.
I que-
That's okay.
I question whether the homeowner should,
Sure.
we're taking the tree out because it's a problem.
Is it
The
problem?
homeowner doesn't recognize it as a problem. Maybe they, why
Most of
should they
them
have to
have.
go through the, if they want the tree out, they're demanding it. I can see.
You're saying if we want it out because.
Yeah, because it's causing damages to
causing damage.
sidewalks and things
And
like
we
that.
request it.
I would say landscape should request an,
But we're taking a tree out on, we only have the right of way to do that. So if it's going to be removed, it should, an absolute. Okay. Maybe we can get together and talk about how we can do.
Yeah.
Thank
Steve,
you.
and Steve, there are some lots here that may have no tree, based on what you just read. They, yes. It's possible we have no trees because the yard is less than 20 and the tree would interrupt the gas line and the water. I was at the meeting when that was amended at the city. It could be no trees. We have some lots that are so small you can't put a tree on it unless you put it.
A waiver.
The city did that amendment to avoid waivers and inspections.
Okay, well, that's
We
not
can
bad.
take this offline and talk about it. At landscape, we're happy to meet with you. Kirk and I will meet with you. Gracie. Yeah, we
Okay,
will.
so, any other
That's fine.
discussion?
Thank you, Steve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-2. Opposing is Larry and okay, that's next.
Thank you.
So we are going to go ahead and remove.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What's next, Eric?
Next, starting on page 155, is the first proposal from facilities. This is the carpet replacement for additional rooms. Those additional rooms being the theater, library, bistro, the bistro barn, lodge back office, and the RCN office. Total cost would be $63,176.33, which is a reserve expense.
I move that we implement the replacement of the carpet, those additional rooms, the RCN for a total of $60,176. That will be paid for by reserves and Miles Custom.
Second that.
Motion by Joe Barletta, seconded by Kathy Craven to approve $63,176.30. Remove and replace the carpet in the additional rooms that are listed in the proposal. Any discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
You. Next, starting on page 176, is the bistro beverage machine purchase. Total cost will be $1,639, which would be a capital expense. 176.
76?
76, thank you.
I'm going to make the motion. Second that.
Okay, motion has been made by Kathy Craven, seconded by Gracie Luna, to deny the request for the bistro beverage coffee and tea maker in the amount of $1,639.60 paid at a capital. Discussion.
The point of order, Mr. Chairman, I don't think each one of those machines is a capital machine. I think it's an operational expense for each one. They're each under $1,000, even though they will last likely more than a year. I do not agree that, as presented, it was a capital expense. I think it's operational. And then really the discussion is whether or not we want to provide additional kitchen equipment to our vendor or our contractor in the borough. So
I think regardless of that, the
Would like to
recommendation is to deny it, whether it's capital or whether it's operational. And from a financial standpoint, we do a lot for the bistro there. They get a very good rate on the rent there. We take care of all that equipment and everything else. And for us to go out and buy coffee and teapots so the bistro can make more money, that's kind of dumb. We're paying him to make more money. Sorry, it's not within my keeping of doing business. It's so important to him. His costs are higher. The way he's doing it, he can do it. We spend a lot of money there. It's a great benefit, but beyond.
Shows no return on investment.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
He hasn't shown any.
if he's going to save money, it's his investment. It's his business.
Should have applied to the ice cream.
That was years ago.
That was years ago.
The ice cream machine that Joe's talking about back in the dark ages
wasn't that long ago.
But I remember those dark ages, and I agree.
It was $1,100, and the board voted to do it. This particular one would benefit a bistro operator, paying roughly $500 every other month now, is it, Eric?
Yes, to purchase, he's required to purchase to purchase $500 worth a month,
Okay.
whether it's coffee or spices.
Now, this appears to benefit, in my opinion, benefits. Any other discussion?
Would take us 20 years to get that money back.
Well, we not only have to put the outlay, we then have to maintain it, and we have to buy the new one in a reserve. The cost all the way for us and a profit for.
Any other discussion? All in favor of denying the request for the throw machine?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0 to deny the request.
Next, starting on page 187, is the ADA door opening system for the spa building restrooms from facilities. Fee to install ADA door openers on the bathroom doors there. Total cost is $9,217.65, which is a capital expense.
I move that we replace the ADA, or put in the ADA for the ADA in the spa building, both the men and the women's room, and that for a cost of $9,217, and that will be a capital expense, and the installation will be done by Mike.
No,
Electrical.
Beaumont door and lock.
Electrical will be
doing
done.
the
Mike,
electrical.
I said Mike is doing the installation.
Electrical.
Oh, the electrical installation only, okay.
They're charging $1,200.
Yeah.
Beaumont saved them all.
The motion by Joe Barletta to approve $9,217.65 for the ADA type approved door for the ladies in the spa building restroom.
I'll second.
Seconded by Gracie Luna. This will be out of our capital expense. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. It's 7-0.
Thank you. Next, starting on page 194, are the lodge and spa building bathroom toilet replacements. Fee to replace 26 toilets in the lodge, RCN, and spa building. Total cost would be $13,270.40, which is a reserve.
I move that we replace the 26 toilets, 17-inch high. These are Toto toilets, which are not the best as far as I am led to believe. Total cost of $13,270, and that will be from reserves and will be done by Right Solution.
Second.
Motion by Joe Barletta, Kathy Craven, to approve $13,270.40 to replace 26 standard toilets with 26 ADA height toilets, which is 17. That'll make that need. This is in the lodge bathrooms out of reserves. Discussion on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's 7-0.
Thank you. And the last item of new business, starting on page 201, is the electric blower battery pack and accessories from facilities. Total cost is $1,706.21, which in a capital expense. This will allow staff to use the electric blower for longer than half an hour.
I move that we replace the blower battery pack for a total cost of $706, and that will be a capital expense.
Motion by Joe Barletta, seconded by Kathy Craven to approve $1,706.21 for an electronic blower battery pack and accessories. This will be capital expense. Discussion on this, Barry. We got Barry.
Did we look at using the standard battery that's there now and buying 3 or 4 of them, which most contractors do? Last a half hour, go put it on the charger. It takes an hour, have 2 or 3 of them handy. They won't cost this amount of money. I think this is a phenomenal amount. And you're not going to be blowing all day for 8 hours. But if you had 3 or 4 of the regular batteries.
I think the numbers come out to be, this one is good for a half an hour. The one we have, you get 3 or 4 of them, that's an hour and a half. I believe this one runs 10 hours.
I'm not questioning the hours. I'm saying the one we have now, if you were to replace that exactly, and it lasts a half hour, probably costs about $50.
That's true.
Okay, so you buy 3 or 4 of those. And
That
you
gives you
spend
an hour
two-
and a half.
Yeah, but you're charging, you said you can charge them in an hour.
You're right, you can do that, but what it means is you're constantly swapping and recharging and whatever, and it makes it inconvenient.
Well, you'd have 4 charged. You'd have 4 to, let's say you bought 4. You'd have 4 of them that would be charged. And how much more blowing are they gonna do right then?
So the whole thought behind this, getting this particular blower and the time that it would last is that we are going to take on the maintenance of the rain gutters in the Springdale. And that's what this is going to be used. He's going to be over there blowing all day, cleaning those rain gutters out. The quote we got was somewhere between $25,000 to $30,000 every year to clean rain gutters. So the thought process is he will use this and be able to stay there and do the work, because that was discussed in finances of facilities as well, but it's back and forth charging all.
Just using the $25,000 figure, return on investment.
I know, but you're thinking he's gonna be running back and forth. He
Well,
takes
will be.
4 of these batteries with him.
Okay, now he's got 2 hours. Over in the Springdales have those pine trees that are all behind.
I had pine trees in Tennessee.
The one part that I do agree with you, Barry, is the number seems very high for a battery. I mean, $1,700 for a battery is a lot of damn money.
More than the cost of the blower.
Yeah, well, yeah, by far. You know, I don't know how to get there otherwise. I wish we could get battery that maybe went 5 or 6 hours for much less. I looked into it, I didn't see it. If we have another idea on how to do that.
It's just a matter of buying a bunch of the inexpensive ones and having them. It's the contractors that are doing houses with the air guns that are electric and that, you go in the back of their truck and they got a bunch of them in there and they just slap them in and they charge them at the end of the night. I'm just thinking if we bought 4 or 8 at $50 a piece, it's a lot less than this.
Is that how much they?
No, the batteries are $200.
How much?
200.
For a regular battery?
Yes.
I don't agree with that, because I have
I'm
one.
looking at it.
$800.
I mean, I agree that it seems excessive, but I'm looking at where we bought the blower itself. Replacement battery.
How much did the blower cost?
$299.
So the battery was $200 and the blower was $99. When you okay.
So, okay, any other discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may make a point. I think we're down in the minutia of the cost of individual parts and not thinking about the worker and the efficiency of the human.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with this battery pack because I think it's more efficient for the worker to continue doing their job, not to have to get down the ladder, not to have to go back to the maintenance cart, to be able to work for that day with that pack on and do what they need to do, not worry about the electrical connection or the power.
Correct.
So I think if you buy 3 of these batteries and then do you have to buy 3 charging units also? Can one charging unit have 4 of these batteries? These are very big batteries. So I think from the standpoint of the efficiency of the work, this is an investment to make for the worker.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of the $1,706.21 purchase the electronic blower battery pack and
Aye.
opposed?
2.
Opposition, Larry and Barry. Everybody else in. Thank you.
Next, in unfinished business, there were 2 rule changes that were out for homeowner comment. First one, starting on page 210, was the canine corral council proposed or committee proposed rule change to change it to be 1 dog per household in the canine corral. Of the comments received, 15 said they agreed with it and 5 were opposed.
Motion to approve the change?
I'll make a motion that we approve the change for the canine corral.
I'll second that.
Motion by Barry Janetti, seconded by Gracie Luna. Approve the a change requested by the Canine Corral as indicated in rule change number 10. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's 7-0.
Next was the amphitheater seat rule change. This would change the rules that homeowners could place their chairs in the amphitheater on Saturday night. Of those that had commented back, 27 said yes and 10 were opposed.
All right.
Make the motion to approve that. Modify the lawn chair process, allowing the residents to set up the lawn chair.
I'll second that.
Motion by Gracie Luna, seconded by Barry Janetti to requested changes by the amphitheater committee. Let people build the chairs the night before as opposed to 2:30 in the morning, Charles. Any discussion on this? Yes, sir.
Last meeting.
Permanent.
It's permanent
For
right now.
amphitheater concerts.
Yeah. I don't remember
If
that.
it works, doesn't work, you have to go through.
Well, if they want to change
Well,
it.
if they
Right now,
wanna do
it's,
it again.
they only had 35 responses, 26 in favor, 9 against.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, that's the requirement.
Yeah, if something goes wrong, I would expect
Right.
reverse
Yeah.
it.
Very easily, if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
we'll change.
Might be missing a chair the next day.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All opposed. Motion carries at 7-0.
Thank you. The next board meeting will be Thursday, May 9th at 1 PM here in the ballroom.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 2:15.
Motion by Gracie, seconded by Larry. All in favor?
Aye. Like that.
Carries 7-0.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to mess up the boy-girl.
Oh, and